Can I ask how you do cope? How do you cope with those tough moments? You say you don't compartmentalize it enough. I presume that's a hint to the fact that you're surrounded by some colleagues that use that process of trying to box it off. I can certainly think of a few doctors that I've met over the years that, in quite a cold way, and it sounds
Hmm.
very cold if you're hearing that for the first time about how they compartmentalize it. How do you cope?
Most of the time I'm fine. I think you can have one really tough conversation a day and deal with it, and it's just every now and then you get, you know, you it all comes in circles. And I've realized for me, I kind of know how long I can work without taking, not in terms of hours, but in how many weeks I can work without taking a break. So I factor that in, and sometimes will prophylactically book a couple of extra days off just because I know I'll need it. It's generally, on Thursday it was such an awful day, just so much horrible stuff going on, and actually Friday, it took me all of Friday and Friday night and Saturday really not really thinking, not really mulling it over. Almost, I don't know, your brains are clever things, and um just I guess reflecting on it, processing it, and then kind of trying to move on from it. For me, I call it Lucy time, and
Yeah.
my partner's very supportive. He knows that every now and then I just need to go off on my own, and actually talking about it isn't that helpful for me. I think it's just letting it do whatever it does in its brain. And but I think that's the harder. I think with the NHS, it's probably what the biggest advice I'd give to any junior doctor actually is do a little bit of thinking about what you need to stay sane. And I remember years ago as a registrar, actually, I just burst into tears in clinic. So before triathlon, and the consultant I just started triathlon. Consultant I was working with said, Lucy, whenever you get like that, you need a holiday, and it stuck with me. And
Mm.
booking leave, knowing that so I've got leave, I've got a couple of weeks in a couple of weeks time, and knowing that that is there makes it so much easier to deal with. And I think that was the hard thing with COVID, that you couldn't really book. I mean, you could book leave, but it wasn't getting away, and that not having that booked in made it a lot harder to process. Yeah.
So I know that you've written a lot in your campaign about the use of exercise to support cancer. So in some ways, you're actually promoting it as a tool to help the doctors who help other people in that sense as well.
And the evidence for exercise for people with cancer is pretty good, but I think the evidence for exercise for mental health is also really good. And I think there is some evidence, you probably know better than me, for that kind of ending your day and people working from home, that transition, actually having a clear transition period between finishing work and being whatever you do in the evenings. And I guess working from home, a lot of people don't get that, and
Mm.
exercise is such a good way of doing that.
Yeah, no, I think there are, well, certainly when you attach movement to that, or at least some mundane activities, a lot of people will say, well, I'll reflect in the car, but the level of alpha wave activity in the brain tends to be so much more enhanced if you're moving or doing repetitious activities such as one pedal after another. Um, and that allows a lot more deeper processing, interconnections of different thoughts. And I think that sense of being able to block time off that allows you to do that thoroughly and really well means that you're going to enjoy the evening as much as anything. You're going to enjoy the
Mm,
next bit
yeah.
at a higher level. Yeah, okay, so can I come back to a comment that you made about how it felt as an athlete, as a full-time athlete, and that you had this sort of almost discomfort with the self-focus, and that's quite well associated with success. Certainly, the studies of elites and super elites, um, that ability to focus on self and on their needs. is quite predictive.